Somewhere between the day you just lived and the sleep waiting to take you, there is a frequency. You won't find it on any dial. It doesn't broadcast on a schedule. It comes when the hour is late and the lights are low, and you are ready to go somewhere without leaving where you are. This is the midnight frequency. What follows are radio dramas, some set in the smoky, rain-soaked world of the old golden age, where private detectives walked dark streets and every shadow had a secret. Some take place closer to now, some venture further out, into times and places that haven't happened yet. All of them are original stories, written in the spirit of the programs that once kept the whole country listening in the dark. From this moment forward, there are no interruptions, no commercials, nothing to pull you back. If you found something here worth returning to, we'd be grateful for your support. The details are in the show notes, but that's for later. Right now, there is only the story. Get comfortable. Let it come.
Dana Reyes had exactly 1 second of time travel left in her, and everyone who mattered knew it. That was the problem with agencies. They kept records. 6 weeks after the Volkov Tower, after the drive was recovered and the schematic locked away and the handshakes were done, a committee she never saw put a red flag on her file. Carrier, depleted. 1 second remaining. Asset no longer viable for temporal fieldwork. They did not fire her. They did something worse. They gave her a desk. So Dana spent her mornings reading incident reports and her evenings at the gym punishing a heavy bag, and she told herself the ache in her knuckles was just her body keeping score. The last second sat in her spine like a coin at the bottom of a jar. Saving it for something good, she had said. Nobody had asked her what good meant. She had not asked herself either. Then the carriers started dying. The first was in Rotterdam, a courier named Aldo, found in a canal with his spine opened by someone who knew exactly what they were looking for. The second was in Osaka, the third was in Chicago, and the third was 19 years old, and that was the morning Marcus appeared at Dana's desk with 2 coffees and a face like a closed door.
3 carriers in 5 weeks, all of them with high balances, all of them harvested.
Dana looked at the photographs and felt the room get colder.
Volkov.
He is in custody. His lawyers have lawyers. But somebody kept the machine running, and we pulled a thread yesterday that leads to a ship. The Carriated, a container vessel flagged out of Panama, sitting at anchor 11 miles off the coast. Thermal shows a medical suite where a medical suite should not be.
Why are you telling me? I am depleted. Ask the committee. I am not viable.
Marcus set the second coffee in front of her.
Because last night the Cariati took a delivery. A girl named Iris Chen, 20 years old. Registered carrier. 30 seconds banked. Never spent a single one. And because the man running that ship is the surgeon who installed Volkov's series. He fights like Volkov. He budgets like Volkov. And you are the only person alive who has beaten that math.
Dana looked at the coin at the bottom of the jar.
I have 1 second.
I know. But here is the thing. He doesn't.
The helicopter dropped her 2 miles out, and she came the rest of the way, low and slow, a black kayak on black water, the Cariatid growing out of the night like a steel cliff. She climbed the anchor chain with the sea breathing under her and her muscles remembering every floor of the Volkov Tower maintenance shaft. Some kinds of fitness you bank the hard way. That kind, nobody can harvest. Marcus was in her ear, thin and filtered by 11 miles of encrypted air.
Medical suite is midship, 2 decks down. 6 crew showing on thermal, but only one of them moves like he owns the place.
The surgeon.
Dr. Emil Rosso, Volkov's installer. Intelligence says he took 2 of the harvested lattices for himself. Call it a minute banked, maybe more. Dana, listen to me. Every model we ran says you do not win a rewind war against a minute.
Good thing I'm not going to fight one.
She went over the rail. The trick to fighting a time traveler, they taught you, is that there is no trick. He sees your move, he rewinds, he counters. You feint, he rewinds, he reads it. The house always wins because the house can replay the hand. But every one of those lessons assumed both players had money on the table. Nobody had ever written the chapter on fighting rich when you are broke, because nobody broke had ever been stupid enough to try. Here is what Dana knew, kneeling in the dark of the cargo deck, listening to two guards walk a lazy pattern between the containers. A traveler under threat budgets for your rewinds. He holds reserves against the rewind you might make. Every choice he makes is taxed by the possibility of your counter. Volkov had spent half his war chest in the tower matching her burn for burn, terrified of the second she might spend that he did not answer. Her empty spine was invisible. Rosso would fight the Dana Reyes from the incident reports, the one who strobed through gunfire like a scratched record. He would price her rewinds into every move. She was going to make him pay full price for a product she no longer owned. The first guard she took clean and quiet. A choke from the shadow of a container, lowering him gently like something she meant to return. The second turned at the wrong moment and saw her, and his hand went to his radio, and Dana did not rewind because she could not, and so she did the other thing. She threw the wrench she had picked up on the deck, threw it hard and honest, and it took him in the collarbone, and she was on him before the pain finished arriving. You only get one take, she thought, tightening the choke, so make it printable. The medical suite glowed like an accusation, white light in a rusting ship. Through the porthole, Dana saw the table, the instrument trays, the frame that held a spine at the correct angle, and in a holding cell of welded mesh beside it, knees to her chest, a girl with a shaved patch at the base of her neck where they had already marked the incision site. Iris Chen looked up when the door opened, and her eyes did the arithmetic on Dana's silhouette, and her face broke open with hope. And that was when the lights went to red and a voice came through the ship's speakers, warm as an old radio play.
Miss Reyes, he told me you would come. He was very specific about what you would cost.
Rosso stepped through the aft hatch with a pistol held like a scalpel, precise and unhurried. He was a small man, neat, silver at the temples, and he moved with that same edited smoothness she had seen in the tower, the gait of a man who had never let a stumble stand.
Anton sends his regards. From his cell. He asked me to tell you that he has replayed your last conversation many times. In his head only, of course. We took his lattices for evidence. He is the poorest man in the world now. Do you know what he says about you?
Dana moved sideways, slow, putting the instrument table between them, keeping Iris's cell at her back.
He says you were bluffing about the 1 second. He says a woman who jumps off a building with 6 seconds banked does not keep one in reserve. He says the file is wrong and your spine is empty, and I should simply shoot you and bill the committee for the bullet.
He smiled and did not shoot.
But Anton also lost, so you will forgive me if I do not spend his advice.
He fired. Dana was already moving, diving behind the steel table, and the shot rang off the frame. And then the world hiccuped, and the shot unrang, and Rosso had rewound 2 seconds to correct his aim, and Dana had not moved the way she had moved before. She had gone the other way, because she had guessed he would buy the correction, and a man who rewinds to fix a miss trusts the replay more than his eyes. The second shot missed by more than the first. She saw it land in him, the doubt, the tax. He had spent 2 seconds and bought nothing. Somewhere behind his neat face, an accountant flinched.
Do you know what Anton never understood? He thought time was a weapon. You think it is capital. You are both wrong. It is a story you tell about yourself. And you have been telling yourself the wrong one about me since I walked in.
Rosso rewound again, 3 seconds, appearing at the end of the instrument table where she was about to be. But about to be is not the same as being, and Dana had changed her line the moment she felt the lurch, and his hands closed on air, and her elbow arrived where his jaw was still deciding to be surprised. He staggered back and burned 4 more seconds to unstagger, and she hit him again in the redone version, because the beautiful thing about being empty is that you have nothing to ration. Every rewind he spent, she answered with the same free currency, commitment. He replayed the hand. She played a different one each time, no pattern to read because she was not managing a reserve, not protecting a balance, not doing the math that made travelers predictable. He was fighting the spreadsheet. She was fighting him. A minute of banked time is 30 rewinds of 2 seconds each, and Dana made Emil Rosso spend them like a tourist. By the time his hand shook on the pistol, he had maybe 10 seconds left, and a face full of the particular grief of a rich man watching the vault empty. He did the last sane thing available. He turned the gun on the cheapest target in the room. He aimed at Iris.
If I cannot bank her, nobody banks her.
And he fired, and Dana was too far away, and the mesh was too thin, and the math was final, and there are moments the universe hands you that arrive labeled. This one. This is what you were saving it for. Dana burned her last second. The world rewound. 1 second. The bullet unflew. The trigger unpulled itself under his finger. 1 second is nothing. 1 second is a heartbeat. 1 second was exactly the distance between Dana and the instrument tray beside her, and this time her hand was already closing around the steel kidney dish, already throwing. The dish took Rosso's wrist as the trigger broke, and the shot went into the ceiling. And then Dana went into Rosso, and the rest was not time travel. The rest was just a woman who had spent 6 years training for the version of the fight where nothing can be undone. When it was over, she knelt on his back and zip-tied his wrists while he wept into the deck, not from pain. She recognized the sound. It was the sound of a man counting what was left and finding a number too small to live inside.
4 seconds. I have 4 seconds left.
Then spend them well. That is the whole game. Nobody teaches it because nobody believes it until they are poor.
She cut the mesh, and Iris came out shaking, and held onto Dana's arm the way you hold the rail of a ship in weather, and looked at her with the unbearable brightness of someone who knows exactly what was just spent on her.
They told me you had 1 second left. The whole flight out here, they were laughing about it. The depleted agent. Why did you come?
Dana thought about the coin at the bottom of the jar, and the jar now empty, and the strange lightness of it, like taking off a pack at the end of a long climb.
Because I finally figured out what something good means. Come on, boat's waiting.
Marcus met them at the dock at dawn with 2 blankets and 3 coffees, and he looked at Dana for a long moment, and being Marcus, he did not say anything about files or committees or viability. He just handed her the coffee.
0, all spent.
Marcus nodded slowly.
You know what that makes you now?
Yeah.
She watched the sun come up over the water, one direction only, the way it always had for everyone else, and found she did not mind.
Same as everybody. Finally dangerous.
This has been The Midnight Frequency. The studio goes dark now. Sleep well.